Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's October 13th, 2022 and Barcelona are on the brink of being eliminated from the Champions League. Also, it's reported that the club are engaged in a race with Real Madrid over signing one of the most promising attacking midfielders in Spain. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. As you might already know, Barcelona drew 3-3 against Inter Milan in the Champions League yesterday at the Spotify Camp Nou. And as a result, Barcelona are still alive in the Champions League. However, they have very low odds of qualifying to the next round of 16. And it's looking like Barcelona could be heading to the Europa League. Now, mistakes were made on part of Xavi and the team, and one of the most surprising things was the lineup that Xavi used. It was the same exact lineup that Xavi had used the past week against Inter Milan in Italy, except one difference, which was Gerard Pique starting over Andreas Christensen, who's currently injured. Now, I don't understand why Marcos Alonso started over Alejandro Balde when Balde has proved to us over and over again that he's the best left back that Barcelona currently have. And given that yesterday was a match that was a must-win for Barcelona, wouldn't you think that Xavi should have started the best left back? Also in the midfield, I was surprised that Frenkie de Jong did not start either, given that if there's one thing that we learned in the last match against Inter Milan was that we needed more offensive prowess and creativity in the midfield, and Frenkie de Jong could have provided us with that with his vision, passing, and intelligent runs to the box. Now in the attack, Rafinha started on the right side instead of the left side like he did in the first leg against Inter Milan, and I don't understand why Xavi decided to sub out Rafinha during the second half when Rafinha was playing with a lot of intensity and a lot of heart. And I'm not saying that he was having a good match because neither him nor Dembélé had a good performance, but he was playing better than Dembélé, and I believe that Rafinha should have stayed on the field and Dembélé should have been the one to be subbed out. Now the team started the first half with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and their desire and hunger to win the match was evident by the way they were running after the ball. They were trying to win every duel, and they put a lot of pressure on Inter Milan, and as a result, Barcelona were able to score the first goal of the night when Rafinha saved the ball from going out of bounds, and he made a brilliant pass to Sergio Roberto, who then assisted Dembélé in the goal. Now, despite all the high intensity that Barcelona were playing with, I really didn't see much improvement over the play in the first leg against Inter Milan. The team wasn't having any fast transition. They weren't really combining well. There was no triangulations. They weren't really creating space. They were doing the same exact thing as the first leg against Inter Milan, where they were sending crosses to the box in hopes that somebody would head them in. Now, luckily, we were able to find some space with that play and Barcelona were able to score that goal. But again, I didn't see any much improvement over the last three matches, in fact, against Celta, Inter Milan, and Real Mallorca. Now, I don't know what happened during the halftime, but the second half is when everything went south and the team completely lost control of the match, and the match became very erratic with both teams going back and forth, and some gruesome defensive mistakes allowed Inter Milan to score 3 goals during the second half. Now, the first goal came as a result of a terrible mistake by Gerard Pique, starting with the fact that he was so deep in the area, much deeper than the rest of the Barcelona defenders, which made the Inter Milan players onside. Had Pique been on line with the rest of the defenders, then all of Inter Milan's attackers would have been offside. The second gruesome mistake that Pique did in that play is that a ball was sent his way, and instead of intercepting or clearing that ball, he didn't do anything, and he signaled to everybody that it was fine to just let the ball through. And little did he know that Barella was right behind him, ready to score Inter Milan's first goal. Now, Sergio Busquets also made a gruesome mistake when he lost the ball in the midfield, leading to Inter Milan's second goal. And once again, Pique made a gruesome mistake in Inter Milan's third goal, where he allowed Inter Milan's goalkeeper Onana to make a long and deep pass to Lautaro Martinez, who was left there without a mark and free to run all the way to our goal and lead to Inter Milan's third goal. Now, Robert Lewandowski came to the rescue and scored 2 goals for Barcelona, the second one being in stoppage time, and Mark ter Stegen also had some brilliant saves that allowed Barcelona to tie the game and prevented Inter Milan from winning the match and sending us directly to the Europa League. Now, yesterday's match was a good reminder that Gerard Pique simply does not have the level to be a Barcelona starter, and if he was honest when he said that he would leave the club when he felt he no longer can contribute, you, then I think Gerard Pique's time is up and he should keep his promise and retire from Barcelona. Now, yesterday's match was also a reminder that Sergio Busquets, despite being the best pivot on our team and one of the best pivots in the world, due to his age, he no longer can play 90 minutes of every match. And if Xavi wanted to start him yesterday, he should have rested him against Celta. And as a result of not resting him, Sergio Busquets looked tired, he was slow, he lost a lot of balls, and he of course led to Inter Milan's second goal. Now, the old guard, including Pique, Busquets, Sergio Roberto, and Jordi Alba, have received a lot of the blame for yesterday's results. And even though I do agree that the old guard do deserve a lot of the blame for yesterday's match, we still have a lot of problems besides those old players. Now, the old guard aside, one of the biggest problems that the team currently have is with their wingers. Now, Rafinha and Dembele are supposed to be the team stars, but yet they are not generating anything offensively besides making runs and sending erratic crosses to the box, hoping that Robert Lewandowski, who was guarded by 3 center backs the whole time, manages to head them in. Now, the wingers are not creating any space, they're not combining well with their teammates, they're not triangulating, they're not really doing anything besides sending a cross after cross to the box, which is the same thing they've been doing in the last 3-4 matches without any results. Now, another problem that the team have is that I'm not really seeing any mechanisms in place that Xavi has implemented. All I see is the team do the same exact thing, match in and match out, where it's the same 4-3-3 lineup with the team passing the ball from side to side, slowly, back and forth, hoping to find some space. And I haven't seen any true mechanisms, any triangulations, any fast transition, or anything of that sort. Now, Xavi is going to have to address these mistakes and these big problems if they hope to win La Liga and if he hopes to build a team that's capable of performing in the Champions League. Now, I have seen a lot of uproar in regards to Xavi, with the fans demanding that he be fired, and I would like to address that by touching on something that I talked about in a previous video over the summer after the preseason ended, when I said that this team is still young and new and they need time and patience to develop into a great team. Now, currently we have a lot of young players who are 18, 19, 20-year-old, and we also have a lot of new players who just arrived at the club, 7 to be exact, and it's going to take some time for all of these players to get used to each other, to develop those mechanisms and become a good team. And we also have a new coach who also still learning from his own mistakes, so we need some patience and we need to give the team some time until we can see more positive results. However, this is what's wrong with the modern fan base, where they want to see immediate results, and when they don't see those results immediately, they start calling for heads to roll. And unfortunately, that's not how things work in football. Great teams take time to develop and take time to mature. Now, after the match in a press conference, Xavi said that the Champions League was cruel to us, and I do agree with that statement to a certain extent, because we have had a lot of bad luck this Champions League, and it all started when we drew the group of death, and this was not a year that Barcelona needed to be in such group. Now, the bad luck continued in Munich when we had a brilliant performance, probably one of the best performances so far in this season. And despite us being much superior to Bayern Munich, the ball did not want to go to the back of the net, and Bayern Munich ended up winning that match 2-0. Now, the bad luck continued even more in Milan when we had a terrible referee that robbed us of 3 crucial points that could have helped us qualify to the next round. And the bad luck continued even more with all the injuries that we suffered so far, especially the 3 injured center backs, who either one of them could have done a much better job than Gerard Pique did last night. Now, yesterday's result technically does keep Barcelona alive in the Champions League. However, in order to qualify to the round of 16, we're going to have to defeat Victoria Pilsen and Bayern Munich. And given the performances that we had against Inter Milan in both legs, I don't see us beating Bayern Munich. And even if we can pull a miracle and win both remaining matches, we still need the Inter Milan draw or lose both matches against Bayern Munich and Victoria Pilsen in order to have enough points to qualify to the next round, which puts us in a very precarious situation, because not only do we have to rely on ourselves to win the 2 remaining matches, but we also depend on the results of other matches, which is a position that you don't want to be in, and our odds are looking very low, and it's most likely that Barcelona will be heading to the Europa League for the second season in a row. Now this was a very disappointing result to all of us fans, and especially to the 92,000 fans that were in attendance at the stadium, which by the way is a record as the highest attendance since the pandemic began. And it's also a disappointment to players such as Robert Lewandowski, who did so much to leave Bayern Munich and come to Barcelona to only end up playing in the Europa League. Now I would like to address another concern which I've seen on social media with people trying to blame Eric Garcia for some of the goals. I don't understand why people are doing that. Eric Garcia is one of the best center backs that we currently have, and he did make some mistakes in yesterday's match, but that was expected because he was covering two positions, his and Gerard Pique's, who was mostly gone for the whole match. Now it's reported that Joan Laporta and the board of directors are very upset with Xavi, and they have put some pressure on the Spanish coach to start seeing better results, because the board of directors consider that they have done everything in their power to give Xavi everything he needs after activating 4 economic levers and selling the club's patrimony in order to generate enough funds to give Xavi all the players and all the tools that he requested. So the board of directors are now expecting better results from Xavi, and they're expecting to see more action on the field rather than words in the press conference. Now amongst all this bad news, there is some good news, and that is that Jules Kounde trained today with the first team, and it looks like he could be declared fit for a Clásico on Sunday. And there's even reports stating that Jules Kounde could start the match against Real Madrid over Gerard Pique, who's in no condition to be the starter for Barcelona. Now we will end today's video with the news that Barcelona are currently engaged in a race with Real Madrid to try to sign Pablo Munoz. Now Munoz is a 19-year-old attacking midfielder who currently plays for Rayo Vallecano's under-19 team, and he's regarded as one of the best attacking center midfielders in all of Spain. Now Munoz scored 19 goals last season despite him not being a striker, and Barcelona had a chance to sign him over the summer. However, the youngster decided to renew his deal with Rayo Vallecano because he considered that he was in the best place in regards to his growth and development. Now it's reported that Barcelona are going to try again in the future to try to sign Pablo Munoz. However, Real Madrid are also interested in the youngster, so we're going to have to see where Munoz ends up. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, peace, Barca.